equals what? You see here is alpha. And if you divide both sides by 2, you cancel this 2 with this 2. You have alpha is theta over 2. So this will be tan theta over 2 tan squared. Okay, that will be what? That will be the one down here. Okay? Oh, you have to choose the square root. So it has positive, negative. Minus 1 minus cosine theta. And 1 plus cosine theta. Okay? Alright. Yeah. Let's see how did we get from here to here or here. I believe I have a notes. Let me find out. This is, I think we derived. That's page 1. And then, yeah, right here. Right here. No. Let's look at this page. You see, this is the half angle formula we have found. Yeah. Is right down here. See, this is the one we have found. The same. Yeah. Same I wrote here. Those two places. No. Okay. If both numerator and denominator multiplied by 1 plus cosine theta, then what do we get? Denominator, there is a plus, so that will be 1 plus cosine theta squared for denominator. Numerator, what do you get? If you FOIL it, 1 times 1 is 1. Outer product 1 times cosine theta. Inner product is 1 times negative cosine theta. You can see one is positive, another is negative. They will be cancelled. And then negative cosine theta times cosine theta, that's negative. So these cancel each other, you get 1 minus cosine theta squared, which is the one on numerator. But you know, by Pythagorean theorem, many times, 1 minus cosine theta is what? If you remember Pythagorean theorem, minus cosine theta squared on both sides, you have sine theta squared minus, sine theta squared is 1 minus cosine theta. So here basically it gives us is 1 minus cosine theta squared, which is sine theta squared. Okay? And down here we just copy it. We like this b squared and this b squared. So there will be no radical sign. We can get these two out. It has positive, negative. But here we say we don't need this positive, negative. The reason is what? The reason is 1 plus cosine theta is always positive. Remember, because cosine theta is less than or equal to 1 and greater than or equal to negative 1, you always get positive. Okay? You always get positive. Yeah, there are some details down here. I'll leave you to figure out. I don't have too much time to figure out here. Alright. And sine theta and tangent theta over 2 always have the same sign. And here is the reason. If theta is in the first two quadrants, quadrant 1 and 2, theta is between 0 and pi, then half theta, you see, divided by 2, then half theta is between 0 and pi over 2. In quadrant 1 and 2, sine theta is positive, but half theta is in quadrant 1, tangent theta is positive 2. Tangent theta over 2 is also positive if this angle theta over 2 is in the first quadrant. Here it tells us it's in the first quadrant. So if sine theta is positive, then tangent theta over 2 will be positive. On the other hand, if theta is between pi and 2 pi, means theta is between quadrant 3 and 4, sine theta is going to be negative. If you divide every place by 2, then theta will be greater than pi over 2 and less than pi. This angle, theta over 2, is in quadrant what? Greater than 90 degrees and less than a straight angle. So theta is in quadrant 2. Theta over 2, this one, is in quadrant 2. Okay? Because it's greater than 90 degree and less than a straight angle. In quadrant 2, tangent theta over 2 is negative. So if sine theta is negative, then tangent theta over 2 will be negative. Yeah. So here, since the signs are the same, you don't need this positive negative. So you get that. Similarly, previously I did 1 plus cosine theta, 1 plus cosine theta. If both numerator and denominator you do 1 minus cosine theta, 1 minus cosine theta, you will get 1 minus cosine theta upstairs, and downstairs will be sine theta. Okay, so you will get that. Remember, if sine theta goes up, here is plus. Okay, and then if sine theta goes down, here is minus. All right, you can enjoy this one yourself. Now we are ready to do some applications, since we have all the forms we wanted. You see, sine theta over 1 plus cosine theta, and this one. So we will use half angle formulas here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, to look at some examples. All right. Now let's look at some examples. The first one is the one right here. Find the exact values of sine half theta, cosine half theta, tangent half theta. For the given condition, cosecant theta is negative 5 over 3, and theta is between negative 90 degrees and 0. This tells us theta is in quadrant 4. And then cosecant theta is negative 5 over 3. Cosecant is the reciprocal of sine. 1 over sine theta is actually negative 5 over 3. Yeah. So remember, there are 2 steps, or you may say there are 3 steps, so it's up to you, to figure out sine, cosine, tangent. Yeah, from these 2 conditions. Now let's figure out that. Since cosecant theta is 1 over sine theta equals negative 5 over 3, then you flip it, sine theta will be negative 3 over 5. Okay? And then, you know, if everywhere divided by 2, then you have a 90 degrees negative divided by 2 is negative 45. Theta over 2 and 0 divided by 2 is 0. So you have a half theta is still in the fourth quadrant, close to x-axis, is acute angle. So, you know, in fourth quadrant, except cosine, everything, sine, tangent, cotangent, they are all negatives. Okay? So, we got to figure out sine, cosine. Sine is figured out already, so we need cosine and tangent. Alright. Now, sine is 3 over 5. 3 over 5. Theta is right here because sine is always opposite side, okay, over adjacent. No, over hypotenuse. Opposite side over hypotenuse. So you always have a 3 over 5. And then you know here has to be 4. Okay, it's by Pythagorean theorem, 3 squared plus 4 squared is 5 squared. So this side has to be 4. Okay, you use this way, it's easy to do it. And again, theta has to be here, not here. It's because sine theta is always opposite side over hypotenuse. Yeah, if it's over adjacent, that's sine, tangent. Okay, 3 over 4 is tangent theta. So again, then we have a 4 over 5. It's cosine theta. That's 4 over 5. And then theta again has to be positive because theta is in fourth quadrant. Then cosine theta is positive. How about tangent? The tangent for sure is negative. Okay, so tangent theta is 3 over 4 negative, right here. 3 over 4 for sure, and in the fourth quadrant, so negative. Then you have a sine, cosine, tangent. Then you are ready to apply the half angle formula.